Welcome to another edition of Paul's Poolside Paradise and Cafe. I'm Paul Segal and welcome to Paradise. So, what's today? Well, my son and I, we did a trip to Peru and Ecuador a couple years ago, and twice a day on our cruise in the Galápagos, the chef was making ceviche. Ceviche is known throughout the Caribbean, Central and South America, and in every place they do a little bit differently. The Mexican version, they oftentimes use shrimp. I don't really buy this version as ceviche, because to me, ceviche is not actually cooked, but it is cooked. Right? See the difference? Cooked and cooked. Cooked, to me, is when you're using heat. Okay, that's how you cook things. But when I say cooked, we're actually cooking the fish or the seafood with a citrus, such as a lime or a lemon or an orange, and that actually cooks the seafood. The Mexican style of ceviche is using shrimp. They actually parboil it. So they'll throw it into some water, into some boiling water for a couple of minutes, parboil it, and then finish it off in the citrus. In Peru and Ecuador, we were having ceviche twice a day. It was phenomenal. Every time the guy was making different types of ceviche using whether it was calamari or octopus or scallops or various different types of fish, typically a white fish. And I realized the choices of the best fish is using a halibut. Why don't more people use halibut? It's expensive. You try to use some other whitefish, it's cheaper. It's not the same. You either get it from the local fishermen here in San Diego. We actually catch halibut right off the coast of San Diego, and every week they've got fresh halibut coming in, and I think it's probably about 9 or 10 months out of the year here. Or I can actually go over to Costco and I pick it up. So today we're using Costco halibut, just for the halibut. So with this halibut, let's see, this time I bought 2 pounds. So what I'm gonna do is for the ceviche, I wanna use the choicest of the choice of the part that has no veins or any weird fat components in there, and that I'm gonna chop up and use that for my ceviche. Then I've got 2 other dishes I'm gonna make out of this. I'm gonna make some halibut steaks, and then with the scrappy little pieces that don't work for the halibut, and maybe they've got some veins and stuff, I'll actually use that for fish tacos. And you can see there's a lot of juice in here. We're gonna get rid of that. You don't want to be using that juice that it's sitting into. So whenever you're doing anything with any type of fish, you always wanna pat that dry. And I've got a couple of different tools here. I'm using my Cutco. I was actually a Cutco salesman when I was 19 years old. This is a really nice, big, thick piece of fish. We've got some lines here that we want to avoid. I'm gonna cut right through, and maybe that little line right there. This does not actually run all the way through. That'll be for tonight. I'm gonna make myself a beautiful halibut steak. There we go. There. And we're gonna be cutting this into pieces for the ceviche. Oh my gosh. Cuts like butter. Move over to my French chef knife. Here we go. It's going to take all these little cubes. So cut it into these small cubes. You don't want to make them too small. It smells fishy. Can you smell that? Oh, no, wait. We don't have smell-o-vision. Number one, I'm going to take all my little scraps and I'm going to shove those into a plastic bag. When you're doing this, get out as much air as possible. I got it all cut up. Next thing we do is we add in, and I've already done this, I've got some chopped white onion. So I'll go ahead and add in a little bit of cilantro to this. All right, so what do you do with a jalapeno? How do you use this? So great easy thing to do with this is we just cut it in half. Okay. and just take out the whole inside and make it as thin as possible. And the idea is to be left with these itty bitty teeny little pieces so that when you bite into them, you get a little bite of exploding flavor. Make it small little pieces. This is a good time to not chop your fingers off. And then we're gonna let it soak for 3 to 4 hours. And the great thing about soaking it with the cilantro and with the peppers is you'll get a little bit of that flavor will impart deep into that fish. I don't trust anybody, so before I'm gonna be handling anything, I wash off everything. I even wash off my limes. I'll slice all the limes in half so they can fit into my little juice squeezer. Is the acidity of the lime that is actually going to be cooking my fish. When you were squeezing all of this, you can see I get a lot of juice out of here. All of the fish is underneath the lime juice. Cooking takes a long time, and if you want to cook really good food, it takes a long time. So initially what I'm going to do is I'm going to cook it for the 3 to 4 hours, cooking, and then I'm going to dump out all the lime juice, and I'm going to put in some lime juice, some fresh lime juice, lemon juice, orange juice, and add in some other ingredients. Your hands. Looks great. Nice big solution. Okay, I want to mix it all up. So now let's go ahead and pat it down. Make sure, look at that. You want there to be all of the fish to be under the liquid. This is step 1. And then we've got a top. And we seal it up. And we set our timer for, we'll call it 3.5 hours. Then we'll come back to it in 3.5 hours and see how it is. Welcome back to Paul's Poolside Paradise and Cafe. 3 to 4 hours later, tick tock, tick tock. Never rush the hands of Mother Nature, okay? All right, so I'm gonna take some of this ceviche and I'm going to drain the excess lime juice. A little bit more. Drain that. Set that aside. Da 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 da. Yeah, it's a whole lot. Okay, now I'm gonna juggle it with a French chip. No. Where's my bowling pin? I've got these 3 things. I'm gonna be cutting them up, but what do I wanna do first? I wanna rinse them off. Gotta rinse, rinse, rinse. So I take the little centerpiece right there and I cut, come back around, watch the magic. Twist, voila! It is French for look at this, huh? On the inside, right along the skin. You can only put in the avocado right before you're serving it. So I'm gonna be serving it right now, so I'm adding that in. No mushy avo. So now that it's cut like that, look at this. A little cilantro, a little orange juice, a little lime juice, a little lemon. The orange is more of a sugar. Some people will actually put sugar into their ceviche. The orange has plenty of sugar in it. Stir that up. Trader Joe's, I've got roasted corn. A little bit of cucumber, Persian cucumber, and it just makes it very, very refreshing. Needs a little bit more cucumber. A couple of these Marzano tomatoes. They're heavenly. Cut them lengthways 4 times. So I've actually got little strips of the tomato. Then I'm gonna chop them up. Now tomatoes are very, very wet. Usually you don't want the wetness from a tomato because it's gonna be very, very watery. So once I've chopped up all the tomato. I'll take one of my paper towels, smush it. Squeezed it all out. So the base of an Israeli salad is onions, tomatoes, cucumbers, and lemon juice, and cilantro. That's it. So basically, I've just made an Israeli salad and threw in some cooked halibut. Take out a little extra liquid. You don't need all that liquid. But most of that liquid actually got absorbed into all the different components. If you look inside my bowl, it was very, very watery a few minutes ago, and now not so much. Look at that. Because I went to Peru and I learned how to do the Peruvian style, we've got the roasted corn in there. I put in some Incan corn. Again, don't put this in beforehand because it'll get soggy. Not so good. A little trick that I learned from the chef on board our cruise in the Galápagos. Everybody's got to have a bag of popcorn, right? I like jumbo size. Where do you get it? Costco. Hello. Look how big this bag of popcorn is. Try sneaking this into the movie theater. Just put a little bit of popcorn on top. How do you want to eat this? For some people, I've actually put it on top of a tostada. I'm gonna get some tortilla chips. For fun and for some beautiful decoration, plantain chips. So fancy. Look at this. Drop a couple of these in the side. Come on, how gorgeous is this? This is what I'm talking about, people. Paul's Poolside Paradise and Cafe. If this ain't paradise, I don't know what is. Best ceviche around. Dip it in there. This is it right here. This is what it's all about. This is paradise.